Yeah, for me, it's just going to be about if the Rumble can come out. That's a pick that we talked about going into this series. That's one that I'm interested in. That's one pick for me. Lee Sin might come back as a pick because a lot of AD junglers are out. So perhaps we get a River Lee Sin. Those are a few questions in my mind and where they get in as blind picks.
Absolutely. Lounge is doing this draft. Sven, myself, Chat, and Raz trying to bring you through this game for the series. Started with Vivo winning the first 2 games. 100 Thieves now trying to pull off a reverse sweep. They dominated last game. I'd say that was about as one-sided this game 2 was in the side of Vivo Keyd Stars. And we're about to get into this draft for Game 4.
That's true. I'm interested in what's going to happen in Game 4 and Game 5. Now, we got Sven here, as you mentioned. When it goes to Game 4, Game 5, that's when it's question mark for Nick Smith. I want to know how you end up doing within this draft, how you feel about your draft performance here, and if it's better.
Well, our drafts are not very good. We all know that. We always lose because of bad drafts. Our gameplay is perfect, but I want to say one thing is that when you're up 2-0 in a series, you will have side selection in every game moving forward.
Yes.
So Game 4 and 5 will be VKS Champion side selection, so they can know, knowing this game what's going to happen, but also next game they can choose again. So they could potentially like do something funny in this game, knowing that they'll have side selection in Game 5 as well. It's
true, and you can see all the series bans already, immediately getting rid of the Senna. That's something that FBI and 100 Thieves love picking on the 4-5. Last game, they ended up banning it on the 4-5. Or sorry, Game 2, they banned it on the 4-5. And now they're saying, you know, so many of the power picks are out. We just can save a ban for later by essentially banning it right away.
Yeah, and I mentioned Lee Sin as an AD jungler, but one of River's best picks is also Viego. So there's a few things, some leniency if they still want to go towards an AD jungler and not have to go into like a Zyra or something like that going into 4.
I'm wondering if you'll see something about the Rumble here from VKS, if they'll first pick it, if they'll ban it. I also think Yone comes, Yone Maokai, Yone Lilia, Yone, I don't know, Zyra, any sort of AP jungler. Yone Rumble alone can be good enough as well. It's Quid's one of his best champs.
I'm really interested here, just because Miru is an exceptional player. He's been matching Quid for most of this series.
Yeah.
A Yone or Rumble ban here, I think, goes a long way. It's an Ornn ban, which makes me think they want to take the Rumble away, because Ornn oftentimes is picked into that. There's no Galio either to pick into it. But I think it's kind of in 100 Thieves' best interest to leave Yone Rumble up and any other power pick in hopes that they can actually just lock the combo right away.
Yeah, but if you give away the Rumble, you need to get your AP jungler somewhere else. And blind picking...
Yeah, they banned the Rumble.
Yeah, blind picking AP junglers isn't always super easy, so they just banned the Rumble. I wonder if the Yone will be left open here for Quid. I think he might end up picking it if it's open for him, something like Maokai Yone. They played in the past as well. Trundle also a common prior pick in late series like this.
Oh, this is going way back even before, of course, the nerfs, the Gwen being the early pick. I was thinking about something like a Varus, you know, with all the ADs being kind of nuked in the pool by Game 4.
Yep, the Senna ban is pretty often used against the Vars, or rather, you pick Senna against Vars, so the ban could indicate they want to play Vars themselves later, or maybe just bait FBI into picking it. Hasn't been as strong after the nerfs.
Wow. Blind pick Alistar. It had been banned a lot in the 4-5s this series. It's one of Ayla's favorite champions. There's no Sylas.
But the Braum is something that I'm just concerned about. Yes, it is Ayla's best pick, or a pick that he goes to very consistently throughout his career. But if you're going to be VKS here, you're pretty happy going towards like a Braum for Trimby.
It's also worth mentioning that the only 2 engaged supports left are Alistar and Rel. It's the 2 premier ones. So Alistar counts Rel, and if Trimby wants to play engaged, you got to pick the Rel here. The Braum could be an angle as well, but it's more of a disengaged comp.
I actually really feel like this Akali pick is interesting. It's something that Miru had played a ton as well. It's also when 100 Thieves started their surge, the pick that Quid had gone to early in series to just play it. They just feel like they can outplay in teamfights. It's also a pick that is good into the Yone. So even though it's available,
it's like a preemptive kind of pick.
Yone's probably going to be up in Game 5 as well now if they're able to get to that stage.
The same thing happened last game when they picked Sylas blind pick, which is something that you pick against Asir, like kind of like, you know, baiting him into picking Asir almost. The Trundle does come out, very common.
Confidence-based pick for the Akali, because I still remember the BDD pick on Akali. It was not great for him, but obviously, but I had to talk about that a little bit.
I'm wondering if this is a River Kiana angle.
Ooh.
It's a good pick into the Trundle. He's already played it once before, had a really big game with it.
Against Red, yeah. He was quite good on it. It could also be at least an angle, which Raz talked about earlier. Needs some sort of AD jungler here for River.
To pair with the Akali.
Yeah.
That is a, The other thing is, with the Akali, it would open them up to have set later. Okay,
Yone.
Actually though,
Akali top, I think. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
did play Yone back in his title run with energy. It was a mid-top flex pick with him and Palafox, so they can hold that flex. I trust Dokla's Yone more than I trust his Akali, for what it's worth.
I think that Akali has been a kind of pick into Gwen in the past,
yes.
so I do think it's more likely that it's Akali top, but I mean, never know.
Which champ does Quid play?
I think Quid plays a Yone here.
I think so too.
I think the Akali goes top. I mean, it could be like a role swap almost. You know, Quid goes top on the Akali, but I think Quid's better at both champions, so I'm not sure what they want to do here.
But I love the mention of NRG, because that was the big thing about them / CLG, was the fact that they would go towards like a double flex with the Akali or the Yone. In this case, I'm fully expecting the Akali just because of how frequently I've seen the matchup into Gwen, but seeing how the series has kind of been dictated by defending your top laner on a dive, worried about that, the Ivern ban.
They just banned Iron for support, I think.
Or they're banning it because they think Trundle could be a support. So it's one of those two.
That could also be the case,
That's like that's a deep cut. This one is definitely some type of scrim knowledge that they would have, because you would think the jungler's already locked
Some sort of inside information here, because this could be an Ivern support or the Ivern jungle with Trundle support. I think either seems kind of suboptimal, so I'm curious to hear about that one later.
I'm also curious, because now that you've dropped your AD jungler, or just your jungler for 100 Thieves to 4-5, the Lee Sin and Viego are what I'm expecting to be banned by VKS. It's going to be a good challenge to see what 100 Thieves are willing to pick here.
I think it's just any sort of A jungler, Lee Sin, Kiana, Viego, whatever.
Nocturne, forgot about that one too.
Nocturne was good too, yeah. Whatever you're individually comfortable on at this point. You know, in game 4 and 5, it's like, it's kind of whatever goes at this point. You know, some people are glue, like the All-Star is a glue, and some people just pick whatever you want.
That pick is not going to happen, unfortunately, but I love
Hey, that's A jungle.
That is an AD jungler.
AD jungle.
And he goes.
As we go, they're taking a long time on this last ban. They do end up sniping that Kiana. So Viego's still available, not the greatest pair.
Yeah, I think it's more like Nocturne.
Rom is still going to be up for VKS as a support pick.
I think Nocturne will be the better jungler for 100 Thieves. Syra is not bad.
It's interesting. If they wanted to play Ziggs bot with Alistar, they could, and then that opens up an AD jungle as well if they want to.
Technically, they don't need an AD jungle anymore because it's Akali top.
Yeah, fair.
They actually want an AP jungler with Yone, like the Maokai I mentioned earlier. So the little flex pick gives them a lot of leeway here.
They have a lot of options. I really love this draft by 100 Thieves. It is a risky one, depending on how the early game would go. If you have like an Akali top, you better be able to defend it. Game 2 was awful when it came to that, but it feels like they've been learning their lesson.
I personally like it. I think picking something like Lee Sin, if it was open, would have been as good as picking, you know, a bit more front line, some vision control with the Maokai, some engage, some CC is what they need to make sure that Yone and Akali actually stick on the targets. So I like it from 100 Thieves. The comp is very well-rounded so far.
Nerfed Yunara's Ven, thoughts?
I thought it was very bad after the nerfs. It feels like a champ that relies so heavily on having high base stats, and having those nerfed, and the E duration down by 1.5 seconds, and the move speed down by a lot as well is a pretty heavy nerf, but in a later series, you can't really be that choosy, so I think it's not bad. FBI doesn't have a lot of champions left to play here.
Yeah, I see Lulu banned in the LCK when Yunara is locked, but that was pre-nerf Yunara.
He could go 6, but it will be very AP heavy, which doesn't seem too good for them, so... Tristana, it's been played before.
It's another one of these comps from VKS that doesn't have strong engage. The Trundle Pillar or the Rise Ultimate is pretty much all they have outside of just strong fighting stats.
Jin, of course.
And Jin's available. That pairs really well with 2 divers. So the cohesion for me from 100 Thieves, this is a very comfortable composition outside of the Dokla Akali. That's the big clutch pick that I need to be able to see succeed.
I think they were kind of hoping to pick that one themselves, the Gwen, that they did before against C9, for example.
It feels very difficult for VKS to interact with 100 Thieves comp, I'm not going to lie. Like, you're not going to be able to find a pick on towards Jin. Akali is going to be difficult if he's diving alongside like a Maokai ulti or Yone ult. It's difficult without any lockdown.
The most important thing in this game, I think, will be side lanes. The Rise, the Yone, the Akali, the Gwen. Someone's fist fighting on side lane, someone's pushing power. Whoever is winning those 1v1s on side lane will be controlling the whole game.
Yeah. 100 Thieves down 2-1 in the series. Dokla has a 5-2 career record on the Akali. Let's see if he can make it 6-2. Casters, what do you think?
I think this draft got very exciting. Game 4 and Fearless usually delivers, and this is no exception. Akali coming out for Dokla when their backs are still against the wall. They denied the sweep, but the job's not done for the Thieves.
I actually really like this 100 Thieves draft that they've put together, with the caveat if you know, this flex ends up working out, right? Because as the analyst desk already touched upon, this is something where they used this a lot when Dokla was trading champions with Palafox while they were on NRG, picking up these kind of melee side lane style champs, Yone being one of them. So I am really curious because they have so much setup for it, right? And I love the Jhin coming in as their final pick. The Maokai sets up so well for that, in addition to the Yone.
And the Akali is a pretty frequent answer into a Gwen, you know, trying to play around her ranges, but no guarantee on getting a one-on-one matchup with the amount of lane swaps that we have seen. And the wrinkle here, Boal has also taken the Ignite for the extra damage there, for the possible all-ins. Does mean you are less mobile and certainly more vulnerable to possible ganks, but we've got some aggressive positioning here behind the pit.
And we got a question for everybody in chat. Will 100 Thieves give us silver scrapes? Yes or no? Spam in the chat. Everybody here in the audience, you can shout it out. I feel like the audience is for sure behind the Thieves. No surprise, they are the North American representatives. We are in Dallas, but man, have the Vivo Keyd Stars pushed them to the limit, and this is an invade, it looks like, onto River right now. He does not see it. He has not gone into the brush. So Desamis, he flashed the wall. Now River Bramble Smash to knock him away and looks to just walk away. But again, the damage was already done. River about half health here, so Desamis will commit to the invade and get that buff.
Yeah, I like that. Trying to split the map here because they want to do something about this Akali matchup. You know, that has been taken over, and investing your flash at the level 1. If it had been a little bit later and River had used Bramble Smash on the red, then it would have been even better.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be pretty good for jungle, even though the flash for Trundle has been invested. And as the analyst desk did say, this Akali for Dokla, he has definitely used it before and been very successful on it. If we can get
River's going to look for an early gank here, but Desamis is actually pathing towards the bottom side, so he'll spot it out. Good timing for Desamis, stopping the play from River. They saw Mirror push all the way up. That could have been big.
Yeah, I think that's more River kind of covering Quid, making sure that Desamis isn't going to go in, as we see a little bit of scrapping back and forth from the bot lane. Both supports have already blown their heals previously in a little bit of a trade back and forth. But yeah, I mean, I do really like this call from VKS. As you pointed out, Kobe, it can be a little bit risky, but if you can set up kind of a safe side of the map for that Gwen, try to pick on this Akali counter matchup. And also, you know, try to keep River from making any sort of early plays like he did in the previous game.
Let's see if it does pay off. It does mean their bottom lane as well knows that River is going to be kind of forced into these nothing else to do positions as a jungler because your top quadrant was taken away, and so River has to get a little creative, venturing into some danger zones here, and is going to at least find the Krugs down here for himself to get some extra jungle CS, and will position him on the bot side. I mean, Mortea says Cleanse Flash still available, so...
Dokla 5 point strike lands. Boal's in some trouble here. No flash available. Remember, he took the Ignite for the 1v1, and Dokla gets him to a sliver of a health bar. He'll go for some of the wave. One more Q. Solo kill. First blood to Big Dokes.
Don't you dare doubt Big Dokes Akali, okay? He gets the counter pick. He gets the solo bolo. There's his record, 5-2 on the champion. Last seen was a long time ago, though, back in 2022 versus Cloud9. And let's take another look at that one, Emily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so happy to see him coming out. We talked about how this Akali is such a great counter matchup into the Gwen. And, I mean, my big thing is this is the lane...
Stop! FBI is the biggest
crowd
hype
is
guy.
following him, right? But this is the side that VKS wanted to get ahead. This was the side that's why they went for that jungle invade, right? They wanted to set this map up really well on the top side, and that's completely undone by Dokla.
And we see there Ayla going for an aggressive trade. Morteos and Trimby also having some difficulty here because of the Yanara buffs. FBI and Ayla actually have the push in, but Desamis is nearby. No barrier on FBI. Flashes are available. Let's see if VKS can find this play. The pillar goes out, but 100 Thieves got far enough away, and they have the wave there. So VKS have to call it off.
Yeah, and they're calling trailing Maokai here. Don't overchase. This could get really dicey. I think it's a good call there for VKS to call it off, not overchase. And also nice here for River, because River, after hovering the bot play, he goes over towards mid. He's not stealing the Raptors. He is looking to pressure on this rise.
Has flash available, but will be spotted by Desamis. Now the pillar goes out. He actually uses the twist advance forward onto the Trundle. Gets some traded damage there, as now Miru can't quite help immediately. Rune Prison on to Quid. So Unbound back to safety as River's still sticking around.
Yeah, Q plus Smite for Maokai is like guaranteed stealing.
And Ayla's here, level 5. Alistair flash forward for the Pulverize, but now he's Rune Prisoned up. Headbutt Wall into the wall, but Ayla goes down. Fade Seal doesn't quite land. Quid can't find the highlight play this time. Desamis gets another kill.
Oh, the ultimate whiffs there for Quid through the middle. 200 Thieves are down. VKS defend their territory.
Yeah, and as we see Ayla trying to head up here, right? Hits the headbutt, but then they try to collapse on Trimby. Quid is polymorph. They polish off and...
I think that was blind into the brush too. Yeah, there's no ward in that brush, so maybe Quid just assumed everyone would be walking forward and can find another play.
Yeah, committing in there with the flash, and then Boao coming down on the Gwen, and they trap them in, defend their territory. Now VKS with some kills in some very important parts for them, the Trundle and the Gwen getting paid.
Yeah, and they're now off to a little bit of a gold lead as we see them moving up towards this top side of the map preemptively before Grubs spawn up here, as we see both duo lanes coming up here, and then the top laners will be going bot.
Yep, FBI's got his support with them, as Doka will still match up against Boal in that bottom lane, like you had highlighted. Dragon is up at 40 seconds for the Grubs, and currently we see Desamis on the top half of the map, so it looks like Vivo Keyd are more focused on that objective here, as they also get the shove from their 2v2. Miru just got to get this wave in, although still a little early, 25 seconds for that to spawn. We'll see 100 Thieves still not level 6 on River. Do they feel confident to go forward as Quid lands a Q3 knockup, but Soul Unbound gets him to safety. They're going to need Fate Sealed, I think, if 100 Thieves actually want to contest anything at that next objective, and it'll come off cooldown maybe in about 10 seconds here.
Yep, and we see Keyd moving in just before Grubs are about to spawn as River clears out. He is going to be just shy.
Ooh.
Oh, no, there we go. He hits level 6 now.
TP from Trimby towards the bottom side. Interesting call there, as now they don't have the Lulu near the Grubs, so they just get the 1 and they back off. I guess the call was just deny the 3 from 100 Thieves, but they didn't actually want to commit to any kind of play.
Yeah, exactly. Trimby out of there with the spell book. Meanwhile, on the kind of wraparound on Dokla, he is just in the remnants of the Shroud, so it does get visible here with Lulu popping up. But yeah, just take away the 1 Grub, then out there for VKS. Try and delay the possible, feats. Attraction. No Grub Mites will at the very least spawn there for 100 Thieves.
And Dragon's still on the table too, so 100 Thieves will get the credit for Feat of Monster Slain, but or at least the 1 point towards that. Let's see if they keep stacking that up, as Miru is actually doing a really good job of just keeping Quid down in health in this lane. He's also got a little CS advantage, so we wanted to highlight going into the series, the mid lane matchup, how exciting it was to see Miru versus Quid, and I think it has delivered for the most part. This time around in Game 4, it's Miru getting a slight lead early on.
Yeah, and I mean, if this Rise is able to get any sort of significant advantage, it will give VKS some extra control in those side lanes, right? We talked about how this composition doesn't really have a lot of hard engage, but they do have abilities to pressure the map should they be able to get these 2 solo laners ahead.
And a lot of the lead, is the invade play 100 Thieves went for, and Quid tried to follow up and ultimate right down through the middle, and so the Rise had a very, very nice time after that. The punishment on the 100 Thieves attempted invade there is significant. They're still going to be able to go and collect their Dragon over here after swapping out FBI to mid lane, though. Looks like Ayla is going to go and protect.
Sorry, that was just impressive from Dokla right there. He uses the Proto Belt forward just to get the CS, and I thought maybe he would threaten Trimby, who doesn't have ultimate available, but he gets the full wave regardless. Oh, River with the wraparound gank here onto Miru. FBI's in the mid lane. River not spotted currently. Miru now in some trouble. Deadly Flourish route lands. FBI's got some damage coming in Nature's Grasp as well, but the Realm Warp, Flash, Miru to safety. VKS's mid laner gets out of there, but now Alo looks for a plan to Disamis. Flash out from the Trundle as well. VKS lose a couple of summoner spells.
Yeah, some flash value here for 100 Thieves on their kind of awkward gank at the beginning of it, but ends up getting a bunch of value. 2 flashes now blown for them. Some possible kill targets for the future. They also have rotated the Yone down to the bottom side into the Gwen, so Dokla up here, again, just still in the 2v1.
Again, getting aggressive onto Trimby. The ultimate is available now in the Lulu. Will use Wild Growth. Dokla has the perfect execution to safety. Flash, but the flash fall from Mortheos! Feet of Warfare claimed. VKS's bot laner with the outplay.
This Amos comes at the perfect timing here for VKS up the lane, right when 100 Thieves try and go aggressive.
River might be looking for some sort of wraparound of his own.
No Yunara ultimate now,
Yeah.
so they actually have the ability to fight. Ayla could be in some trouble, chased down by Disamis, but a teleport coming in. Teleport answered from Miru. Quid has Fate Seal, but he's in some trouble over the wall, immediately locked down, but Polymorph has already been used. Quid, Fate Seal lands this time around with the Q3 double knockup. Quid gets a kill onto Trimby. Ayla will go down. VKS actually hold the line.
1 for 1 there in the end. They're not done though. Quid here trying to come fish around and defend a little bit of the territory. Now, Dokla was not involved in this at all and saved his teleport. So one of the biggest things here is the extra summoner spell. They've got an extra tool to use for cross-map plays. The Akali, when the ultimate comes back, going to be a big difference maker there with the teleport ready.
And River's still looking for more action. Miru does not have the flash available. Nature's Grasp is going out very early. Miru's going to get rooted up. River can lock him down for days. And Quid with the damage on the Yone, looking to pick it up, but Miru's just too tanky with the redemption. Quid misses the Q3, doesn't quite have the damage, barely gets it. The turret will answer. Quid lives with a sliver, but Miru makes him work for it.
Oh yeah, he missed one of his Qs at the beginning, which made that super dicey. In the end, they sacrificed both his flash as well as the life of River there. And we are.
Dokla wants some action too.
Done.
Yeah, Dokla says, I heard y'all like action, everybody. I'll give you some more. FBI not able to follow up. Morteos does dodge that one. But again, the Yunara ultimate used. Transcend oneself defensively.
And during that roam, you're going to leave some minions down here being pushed into tower. That's a turret plate earned for Boao in the ult for ult trade that 100 Thieves went for on the mid lane. So the Gwen, still stacking up to be a threat, still stacking up some extra money.
Yeah, and we've talked about how actually clutch redemption has been in so many different team fights here. As they do end up, River kind of ends up dying for to save Quid. And I mean, Quid on this Yone, we've talked about how he's usually so comfortable on it. He's looking a little shaky.
Back to live. Quid's getting picked off in the top lane, dove under the turret. Teleport from Dokla's not in time. That was a lightning fast play from VKS.
Yeah, I mean, you can say definitely a little shaky. He's missed a lot of stuff in this game. You know, the ultimate on the previous engage that they didn't have the setup for, and then he missed 2 Qs there, one of them that charged up as well. And then gets tower dove as well. So VKS, they're just getting paid on all sides of the map. More money into the Gwen as well. Another tower plate for them. VKS are getting very rich very quickly.
Yeah, and this kind of, the 100 Thieves came back. That clutch fight around, like right around the Raptor area where Quid did end up missing that ult is actually ending up being massive because every single play since, even that play where River tries to set it up, they know that Miru still did not have his flash at that point. Like that did not work out. It ended up being a 1-for-1. It actually helped set up for the dive they later executed onto Quid when he was up there. So Keyd, once again, kind of like tugging 100 Thieves around the map.
And as we see here, Quid's getting pushed out by Miru. Dragon's coming up in 20 seconds, and everything I know about Dragon setup says that you gotta have the advantage to really take control over it. Quid has not finished an item. Blade of the Rune King not available on Yone. Miru has picked up 3 kills and finished the Rod of Ages, so VKS actually have a pretty big advantage, a lot of that from their mid laner, if they want to stop the early objective stacking of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and it allows them to, again, really set up with side lanes. Ryze is such a huge cheat sheet for that. So if they want to try to apply some pressure wherever they want in these side lanes, Miru can set it up.
Miru's actually getting really aggressive. Did not realize that there were 2 members of the Thieves backing up Quid. Flashes away, but the Fate Seal follow-up. Quid, does he have the damage? Shut down to River as VKS are trying to answer one back. Desamis was subjugated onto Quid. Not enough damage right now, but now River's the focus instead. 100 Thieves lose their jungler, but they trade it back as Quid will pick up the shutdown onto Desamis.
The action continues in the end.
Oh, Morteos jumps forward. Untouchable Shadow gets a lot of distance, but now the curtain call. Trimby trying to keep his AD carry alive. We've seen FBI bend the bullet before, not today.
He does end up chasing them out and end any sort of follow-up. The VKS kind of looked like they might want to try to get onto him as well.
As now we're back to the top line. I love that you stopped immediately, Emily, because every time we see Dokla, he starts doing something crazy. So far, okay, well, we just needed to wait a few seconds for Boal to actually go forward. Hallowed Mist is used to. Dokla actually has a window here to maybe go aggressive, but he's taking a lot of damage. Both have completed one item, but Boal feeling really confident.
Yeah, kind of critical. Some shutdowns going in that last little skirmish on the other side of the map. So it did chop down that gold lead that VKS had started to build up a little bit. 100 Thieves, this is what people know and love from them, is they continue to fight and continue to scrap their way back into games, especially early on in the split. In the North, we had a lot of stats around 100 Thieves still being able to win games when they were, a couple thousand gold behind, and being able to find their big clutch team fights when they needed them most. Scrapping a little bit, getting some gold is the first step. Now they're just trading, of course, objectives, and will pick up their Dragon number 2 in exchange for that Rift Herald that was grabbed by VKS. But the Rift Herald can very quickly get turned into just real gold and kind of try and slingshot you ahead to some item spikes, whereas the Dragons are a little bit more delayed power there.
Yeah, and we'll see where VKS want to end up dropping that, as Boal is just going to be able to get this entire turret. Remnants on the top side, which gives them feats overall for first turret, since they already had Feat of Warfare from before.
And 100 Thieves picking up that third objective, set them up to maybe contest, but it was Herald. There's 2 lower health bar turrets. VKS had the priority around there, and they have the gold lead as well, 2,000. So 100 Thieves, yes, they are stacking up these dragons, but it's not going to be free for them to just continue to stack these up. Eventually, VKS will get to a point where they can use this gold lead, they can use a scaled rise to really push 100 Thieves off of these dragons.
Yeah, and for me, it's going to really rely on, okay, how are VKS going to set up this map with the Gwen, with the Rise, and then in response, 100 Thieves still have a lot of really good setup tools. They do have those 2 Drakes on their side as well, so they can force Keyd to potentially contest them at a disadvantageous position. As we see Dokla and Boal kind of scrapping a little bit back and forth, but not much.
Yeah, I'd say one of the things 100 Thieves have to be most cognizant of is not over grouping with all these melee champions in low range, as VKS making a hard push here on mid lane. They should be able to get that turret no problem.
Yep.
And that's a pillar into FBI, so that's flash needed to be used by the Thieves bot laner. Current call used, now the Fate Seal in onto the carry, they got him! Morteus CC'd to oblivion.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about with this 100 Thieves comp.
Dokla wants some of that action as well, but Boal's actually winning out on the fight. The Ignite goes down, Dokla, perfect execution to safety.
Yeah, I mean, you get the Maokai ultimate from one side, and then the Yone comes in from the other side. 400 Thieves. They get another shutdown. This one onto the Yunara, and
Ayla's flashing in. Big engage under the turrets, but they're going to get another carry. Miru still alive. Quid changes that one fast. The Q3 for the kill. Desamis does get the kill onto FBI, but 100 Thieves did find the mid laner. Now they're looking at the top laner. While in trouble, he jumps back towards Desamis. Ayla headbutts him away, says, no, we want the Gwen. Quid just can't get the damage. Boal gets over the wall with a skip and slash. VKS get their top laner out of there.
Was FBI taking tower shots there at the back?
I think he might have. Quid could be in some trouble. Q3's over the pillar, trying to get away. River trying to keep him alive, but the Arc at Judgment will slow him down. Morteus picks up a kill.
River with the sacrifice there goes to Peel to try and get Quid out. He does at that, but it gives over more gold here. The Yunara with the 2 items. This is why I was warning 100 Thieves about over clumping when they have all these melee champs. Yunara with a Runon's Hurricane complete can splash extra damage back even with the Qs onto the main target. This is going to go right into Otacon. They're just going to get this one for free. But yeah, Yunara can destroy clumped up champions, as can the Ryze and the Gwen. So you have to be very careful about all that AoE.
And one thing you're seeing in a lot of these fights is it takes so long for them to kill Miru, right? He is, Ryze is so deceptively tanky a lot of times, so when 100 Thieves are kind of going for these re-engages or really trying to push their advantage like they did in that mid lane, Keyd are able to punish, and now they're in a really great spot, having taken down that mid-tier 1.
Maybe they find Miru. I mean, again,
Otacon.
they've tried this so many times. He's deceptively tanky. The Seraph shield has been popped. Miru will go down. River with a kill. Credit Fate Seal not quite long enough to get onto Desamis, but they got the backup needed. The Thieves find 2 picks in the top lane.
And that was just them recognizing, okay, we can potentially get this pick because we do have a numbers advantage on this side. Let's see if Morteus and Trimby want to try to get onto FBI.
Yeah, 100 Thieves just going full attack mode. They are full sending on every possible kill they can get here, trying to earn some money back. And yeah, they do give up the bottom side of the map, but when you have a successful side lane play like that, even if you overcommit 4 people, then you can still just get the tower on that side in trade, plus they got the kill. So that is tower gold as well, solo into the Yone, in addition to getting these kills.
Well, now look at where any gold lead is on 100 Thieves, right? They've chopped down VKS's gold lead, and a lot of it is because Yone is now 1.7, 1.6K ahead of the Ryze. They've been getting this onto Quid. He's now 5-2-2 with more item completion in a much better spot.
Yeah, and he's used that money to fund his QSS, the anti-polymorph.
True.
Anti-polymorph button here for him, because Lulu can sometimes make it really difficult for these melee carries to operate. So they've got an extra little answer there. Dokla also spiking on an item as well. Shadow Flame completed for him. Extra kill pressure, extra execute damage for the Akali. 100 Thieves positioning like they might want to fight it.
They're not going to have priority over the midway. VKS get that, and they're already on the dragons. So this is what we were talking about earlier. 100 Thieves got the first 2 dragons, but Vivo Keyd used their gold lead to ensure that they can get the third. Denied the stacking, slow down that Dragon Soul win condition for the Thieves, but 100 Thieves might still look for a re-engage. The pillar used to block Ayla's approach onto Miru. Nature's Wrath will go out. Little ambitious. All right, they're just wasting Desamis' time, but VKS do get to safety, and they also got the dragon.
I feel like this too is 100 Thieves, right? Because they were just like, okay, like how do we look? How do we look for the fight angle? Can we throw out the Maokai ult? Can we maybe pick someone off on the back half? You could see that Dokla was kind of looking for the flank around the Dragon Pit. Doesn't end up working out, but Dokla should be able to clean up this bot tier 1. And again, this is 100 Thieves. This is what they want to do. They want to keep trying to go for these picks. They want to keep trying to get gold onto Quid, onto this Akali, so they can contest VKS.
Uh-oh, trailing Trundle here behind. River's there as well, so it's an even 2-on-2 at the moment.
Yeah. Dokla wasn't spotted, so with seeing Desamis, Dokla decides to just back off here, channeling the back. Let's see if he actually completes it, and there we go. So they'll let the wave crash high and then catch it there. But that was a moment where, again, every time we see Dokla, we have to wait to see what he's going to actually try and do, because he has played very aggressive from that first blood solo kill to these team fights as well.
Well, in a lot of previous games, we've talked about how 100 Thieves, one of the things that got them here was Dokla's side lane pressure, was his ability to potentially play without a lot of prio on his side of the map from the rest of the team. However, VKS, I feel like through this series, has really taken advantage of that, and they have had a lot of really good picks in the side lanes in their first 2 games. And this composition does allow for that as well with the Ryze and the Gwen, as we see VKS kind of pushing really hard into this top side.
Yeah, Quid's just been denied some XP. He's going to have to catch his wave high as well. He's very close to 14, and Miru's level 15 is because of the Rod of Ages, so Quid's not that far behind necessarily in XP, but he is behind. Miru is still, even though he's behind in gold, a threat. He's deceptively tanky, as you like to highlight, Emily, so 100 Thieves need to be careful if they're trying to make a play on that Ryze.
I also think what's been happening is that this gold lead has been slowly whittled away, right? Like 100 Thieves have kind of been able to catch a lot of this farm, catch a lot of these waves. We don't really have a massive advantage singularly on Keyd outside of this trundle, right? So, I mean, 100 Thieves have gotten themselves into a good spot if they don't kind of over-aggress and if they're able to set up a pick or some sort of team fight with the Jhin Maokai combo.
You know, when we're talking about 100 Thieves, I don't know if we can ever rely on them not getting over-aggressive, because that's just how this team likes to play the Rift. So far, though, it's been a very even game number for Vivo Keyd Stars. Know that 1 win, and they will have a rematch in the finals. 100 Thieves know that 1 loss. And they will have to call it quits for championship weekends. They'll be looking towards Worlds next, but obviously they would like a rematch versus FlyQuest as well. Let's see how they approach the Baron, because that's the next big objective on the Rift that these teams will be looking at.
I think as long as VKS are calm in their setup, then they should be good. And it's kind of on 100 Thieves, you know, to take a decent amount of damage, and also doesn't even get the ward. But it's kind of on 100 Thieves to take the initiative and kind of take the opportunity here if they see anyone out of position, because there's a lot here on the side of VKS that does build very well if things are too straightforward and head on. So 100 Thieves gonna have to get a little bit more creative and keep, you know, using that aggressive look to their advantage. At the moment, though, VKS doing a very good job clearing out vision and setting up for the arrival of the next Dragon, taking jungle camps first.
Dragon's going to be up in 45 seconds. This is where I like to do inventory of items. Actually, as I say that, 100 Thieves have multiple members up by the parents, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But FBI, 3 items completed. Same for Morteos. At that time, he does get the ward. Here are a couple cheers from the audience. No Trimbeer to polymorph him away. But another thing to highlight is that Vivo Keyd, something that the lounge said going into game from Champ Select was there's not great engage. There's not a true front line. And Desamis doesn't have great stats to steal unless Ayla's already ulting, I suppose. But even then, like, it's redemption. It's mostly health that they're building. AP on the Maokai.
Yeah, I think their focus is going to be on kind of kiting back on the Yone and Akali openers, and can they keep Morteos up and DPSing the entire time, because that Yunara is kind of built for this. Quid, though, he is getting close to Infinity Edge, and him being this hope for 100 Thieves on the Yone, kind of a signature champion for him, and him being the one with the big gold lead here, if 100 Thieves can get him that extra money to IE, will be massive. The fight is going to happen now, though, because Dragon has arrived.
Well, Wild's already started it up. Desamis is nearby. 100 Thieves don't have mid priority. They actually have Quid still on that. Ayla's trying to keep Desamis away. Subjugate has gone down. Ultimate's thrown out. Nature's Grasp gonna buy some space. Quid's in over the flank. Fate Seal misses onto Morteos. Only hits Trimby. He's rooted down. Dokla's able to pick one up, but Quid's already been traded. Morteos is unleashed. Dokla's trying to get onto the AD carry. He's polymorphed as well. VKS are dancing around the fight, keeping their AD carry alive. Triple kill to Miru.
What a really nice repositioning all coming out of Miru. VKS absolutely ran over that fight, how 100 Thieves wanted to set it up, and now they're on the Baron.
One of those tough moments where, again, Quid not quite hitting the Fate Seal onto the target. Morteos was relatively untouched. Miru gets the kills, but again, watch how much damage and this focus that Yunara has on her.
Yeah, and VKS here. So kiting back during Maokai ultimate, Dismiss, and Boal into the pit. But the rest of the three of them there on the top side, you said, looking at Quid coming for the engage, Mateus is able to dodge it. And so he's able to stay alive. Doko's like, I got to get in there. I got to finish him off. But VKS are able to keep him up. Miru comes up big, picking up the last there, getting the triple kill for himself. The Yunara is big, the Rise is big, and VKS have claimed the Baron in a must-win game for 100 Thieves. They are looking like their chances are dwindling.
And this Lulu is actually very quietly doing so much work. Trimby is hitting some really clutch polymorphs onto Quid, onto Dokla whenever they want to come in. We saw absolutely stuffed Dokla when he was trying to get in to potentially hop onto Morteus and take him out of that fight. And they're really now dismantling 100 Thieves, proving the power of the South, right? Like everyone kind of from our side coming in was like, you know what? They got absolutely stomped by FlyQuest. 100 Thieves have kind of run rampant through the other two LTA South teams. VKS are absolutely showing up and proving their merit.
All right, 100 Thieves are going to look to defend this turret as Nature's Grasp will go out, but VKS will just back off. The root only lands on the one member, and they can just restart the siege. This team, I'm even going to go back further, Emily, back to Split 1, where not a single South team was able to pick up a series win. Now fast forward to here. They got a series win. VKS is now pushing 100 Thieves. They're on their base's door, ready to break down these turrets. This would be a huge win for Vivo Keyd, who again didn't quite show up versus FlyQuest. They want to show that that was a fluke and that they can get their rematch. Yeah,
they talked about it immediately after, Trimby really looking forward to a rematch with FlyQuest so that they can, show some good games and prove that they can hang there as well. Of course, they got some scrims with FlyQuest recently too, practicing up and looking quite good here today. So they're definitely headed that way, especially because Yunara, on top of everything that she already had, also working towards her Infinity Edge. So, but Quid, that hope there for 100 Thieves. They're still looking for some really big bursty play. They're trying to put down some control wards, maybe look for an angle to pick somebody off as VKS try and play the map.
We still have pick tools from 100 Thieves. They can still try and find these big engages, but we've seen how difficult it is with Trimby on the Lulu. Not one member of the Thieves can actually kill Morteus. They're going to need multiple members. Instead, it's Boal actually the focus here. The Gwen still very healthy. Trimby does use the ultimate, and now they picked up Desamis with a bit of the Maokai ultimate. Dokla's on top of him, but he's still so healthy. They can't kill the Trundle. Quid, does he have the damage? Desamis walks away. They turn the attention on the Morteus. They get the AD carry. They're looking at Miru. Quid is doing all the damage that the Thieves need. Ayla will fall, so will Miru. Thieves find their play.
Oh my gosh, this game has suddenly been turned on its head. Quid, we talked about, okay, he is the guy who has to pop off, coming up absolutely clutch for 100 Thieves there and stopping this VKS push.
Let's see how much they can get out of it. I mean, this tower is literally one damage away from getting taken down, so they do get that objective, plus the gold from all the kills. But 100 Thieves here have to keep on looking for more of these types of opportunity. Again, they were looking in their jungle from the very beginning, trying to make it scrappy. And you see the Maokai ult from the top side, split them off, and separated the Trundle, which Dokla decides, you know what, this is our chance. We put the pressure on here, and that opens up the follow-up play.
Yeah, and I think that is the big thing here, right? Because it separates out Keyd enough for Quid to go in, completely assassinate Morteus. He's been such a huge problem in these fights. They clean up Miru on the back half. And again, Quid is the guy. Golden Glue is losing his mind.
He's not going to have that much hair by the end of today. I'm going to call it right
Not if he keeps pulling at it like that.
Not if he keeps pulling at it. 5 seconds for the Dragon to spawn, though, and 100 Thieves are ready for another fight. This has been nothing but fights. And I'm loving it so far. That damage from Quid, can he do it again? The Dragon has spawned again. This is the stacking from 100 Thieves, but now answered by VKS. 2-2 on the board here. It's going to come down maybe to a smite fight. Desamis throws out the pillar. Now Boal goes over the wall here. Was looking for the flank. Big damage on the Quid. The needlework has gone through. And 100 Thieves were pushed back from the objective. Dragon goes over. Ayla, flash engage. Quid looking for the bait seal. It lands on the multiple members, but not enough damage followed up for the kill. Now FBI in some trouble. Pillar lands, flash away. River goes back in, but the team just wasn't quite there to follow up. Dokla now still in the Twilight Shroud. Big damage. Bual just deletes Ayla, but will fall to FBI. Dokla finds the miracle double kill as FBI's got Quid behind him. Chasing down to Samus. The sapling for the slow. River for the kill. 17-17 at 34 minutes. 100 Thieves win the fight.
100 Thieves never give up. They never say die. They keep on fighting.
Just when I was gonna be like, okay, that team fight is over, right? This is what happens when you meet VKS in a 5v5. Quid gets polymorphed there. Tons of damage taken out onto him. They get the Drake. I'm like, all right, BKS are just being able to clean up this fight. No, Ayla goes back in. Fate Seals lands, like you said, doesn't do enough damage, but then keep your eyes on Dokla because he is still full health and he recognizes some priority targets to be able to take out on the back half of this fight.
They're dokes.
That was a highlight reel play right there. The patience in the Shroud into the killer instinct to get Morteos, get a double kill on top.
In the biggest games, in the biggest series, that's what it comes down to, is really clutch plays when you need
we're
it
right
the
back to
most.
live. Every time out of a replay, 100 Thieves are on the Baron. Samus can't get in. It's going to come down to a fight here, but Dokla's back. Bual has a flank. FBI's down. Fate Seal whiffs. 100 Thieves in trouble. Ayla's out of there. Dokla, perfect execution over the wall, but Morteos follows for the double kill. Quid dies. The Thieves crumble at the Baron. Triple kill to Morteos.
Triple kill to Morteos just when it was looking like it was going to come up 100 Thieves' way. That is what happens with a straight up 5v5 kill. VKS are barreling down mid. They have proven themselves. They will take out 100 Thieves as the pride of the LTA South.
Death timers are too long. VKS, they want a rematch versus FlyQuest. Brazil strikes first in Dallas. Vivo Keyd Stars are going to finals.
Congrats to Vivo Keyd Stars. I think everyone from our side was really surprised by how much this team, how different this team looked, right? Like, this is the team we were kind of expecting to see. The way they played the map, the way they dragged 100 Thieves, forced them to come to Keyd. Congratulations, you have earned your rematch with the raid bosses of the LTA in FlyQuest.
I know they're really looking forward to that one. And FlyQuest as well, waiting in the finals, the final boss there. But well done to Vivo Keyd Stars. Take a bow.
3-1, well-earned victory over 100 Thieves, the second seed, and Vivo Keyd Stars again showing the promise, showing what they are capable of.
I mean, Morteos, the rookie this year, Miru joining the team for this first split, and it really all coming together here for this team when they need it the most.
Yeah, and we kind of heard it from Morteos in a few of the interviews we saw with him, right? Where he's like, I think this could be, the crowd could be against me, but I'm kind of used to it because some of our fans down in Brazil are so crazy. And as we see 100 Thieves, their miracle run comes to an end, but we will see them at Worlds. And honestly, like, props to them. Their improvement, their glow up, adding Dokla to the team. This team was so much fun to watch.
The heist for the LTA Championship trophy has ended, but the heist for the Worlds trophy is still on the table.